Pleasure to meet y'all at last. Here we are with number 8 out of 10. There will only be 2 more entries to the Vlog-a-thon to go, but this is number 8 of 10. And for today's vlog here of the Vlog-a-thon, this is going to mainly speak about moving forward, really. Moving forward from any kind of, well, situation that I've had in the past, really, or anything else that really just talks about a lot of problems that have happened, and they've just kept coming back to us at certain points in time. But for right now, it's mostly just going to be about problems that I've had in the past, or whatnot. So, when I'm talking about moving forward, I'm talking about leaving any of these parts of the past behind, and I'm talking about keeping the future as bright as it can possibly be. But not all the time this can be possible for everybody around, because nowadays we aren't exactly going to have as much of a bright future as we should have, simply because there have been a lot of political-based debate going on, and there have also been a lot of craze going on over certain pieces of technology, and the fact that, well, inflation rates have also made people think that stuff has become more expensive than ever. But let's keep in mind here, inflation rates, they just don't stop growing, and when inflation rates are growing, then we're going to have ourselves higher wages to be paid with. So 100 years from now, something that used to be sold for only around $20, there's no telling really what could happen 100 years later when inflation rates become so high that eventually these products would turn from $20 into, well, something that goes from 100 years worth of inflation rates. There's no telling what the price could be, because prices can actually fluctuate throughout each year. And economically, we're all in a bit of decline around so many different parts of wealth. And in my case, really, talking about certain parts of wealth, I cannot exactly be sure, but to be fair, to be precise as well, I would actually want to go ahead and just go forward with what exactly has been going on lately with all of my pieces of content, because I feel like economics shouldn't have too much to do with my Vlog-a-thon, because of course inflation rates just happen with everybody in this entire country. And of course, if you're an international viewer, then, well, you probably know. I wouldn't know for sure if you had also had inflation rates every single year, because of course the value of the euro has changed. But I'm just going to go ahead and move on with what my content is about, based on moving on from certain parts of the past that I would not want to let it come back to me, really. So what I'm going to talk about right now, based on moving on from the past, and certain parts of which that I still feel rather guilty or disappointed about as well. If you've seen certain videos of mine that have gotten a heck of a lot of views on them lately, then you would have noticed for sure that there's just a lot that entice to how much effort I tend to put into my work most of the time. That most of the time that I do actually do my work and upload it to my channel, I just hardly ever feel sorry for myself as to how the quality of the videos is actually not going to be too well. But of course, there was this one vlog that I've had about a month ago that related to how the quality of my videos made a really big difference on my channel, and how they looked and felt better. And now, thinking about what has gone on since I started figuring out how higher quality content can actually be made by just simply tuning up the export settings with my Magix Movie Editor Pro 2016 software, I feel like it's clear by now that at any given point in time, I almost feel like that I would have to go ahead and re-record, recreate every single piece of content of mine from the ground up that was just having bad quality on them. I mean, if there's anybody out there who just knows how frustrating it is out there to just simply have low quality content that you waste a lot of time creating, then, well, it's just no short of a joke of my own that I just let myself get involved in such low quality production like that. And I mean, I just still have a lot more than just a simple regret as to how I did not discover this method earlier that relates to exporting your videos in a different way with higher quality options on them. The bitrate quality, the frame size, and bitrate ratio, frame rates, any options like those, really. I just cannot believe that I haven't discovered this option a long time ago, because otherwise all of my content would have been higher quality, and therefore they probably would have gotten a pretty good amount of views on them. And I just cannot exactly be as happy as I really would have been if I just had noticed that my quality content has just been ruined like that, simply because I had been entrailed and I had been pulled into something like that, where all of a sudden all of my content is now just low quality simply because I had failed to research ahead of time. And now, since I have more than 700 videos on my channel, I just have no clue exactly what the heck am I going to be doing now, simply because of how, well, it's just all too well, to be fair. It's just all too well. And I know you might not figure out what it means just now, but I know what it means. It just refers to how I try to put as much fairness and care into my content as much as I can. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have gone any further onto my channel than I would have years ago. Especially during that time where, well, that darkness period happened between 2013 and 2018, where that time that my channel had gotten shut down by my family, knowing that, well, I had such crazy rough times back then, creating content that would not have been seen by everybody at all. It would have been age restricted by now if I did have them on my channel today. They would have been automatically age restricted by YouTube based on their new policies about the community guidelines that they've had for at least a couple of years. Then I sure as heck know when to actually quit doing something like that. But then again, I just still feel really bad about how certain content, like the kind of content that I put the most effort to, or the most kind of longest content that I have around on my channel so far, it's just real. It's just that frustrating, really. It's just that it's just so bad now. But this is actually where the moving forward portion of my story would end up coming in, because now I have agreed with myself, with my own conscience, that I have myself at least a good time on my channel. A sweet time that I have on my channel in terms of creating content of mine, regardless of what the quality is, regardless of how awful the picture looks, regardless of how, well, sound quality is not at all too well, not all the time, but still, I just learned to love it. I learned to love my own content, regardless of what is wrong with it, or what is right with it. I try to get the best of it as I can. Otherwise, I just simply not watch it, and I try to see if anybody else can react to it if they wanted to. But for right now, really, it's just some time that I have to think about, where I have my own kind of content on my channel, where I have myself a good source to go to, and I have myself an ability to get paid on that particular website of mine. But of course, even though my channel is not paying me right now, it's just gonna be some time, really, before anything does happen to where I do end up getting paid on my channel, and I no longer have to put many of my worries in front of me. I could probably leave some of them behind, but then again, it's probably just gonna be a matter of time before anything else could happen to me, and then eventually the past would eventually become my future, and a lot of stuff would start reverberating at me like crazy. Anything bad or anything good, I really just don't think it would matter at this point, simply because of how bad the quality of my content has become. It's just been that frustrating, really. There's just so much more than just a simple piece of regret that I have on my mind right now, simply because of how awful the quality is, and that I had not researched an option to where I could just simply export my videos, and it would be much better quality content. But you know what, I guess from right now and onwards, I'm gonna simply just have myself some more time to think about what to do next, and then anything goes, really. So I hope that you enjoyed this part of the Vlog-a-thon. This is part 8 out of 10. There's only 2 more to go, so I hope that you stick with me throughout the next 2 parts to this Vlog-a-thon series that I have here on April 10th, 2019. And if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.